Now, the economic damage of COVID-19 has been catastrophic for the retail industry. Hundreds of Aussie businesses have been forced to close their doors, with some major retailers on the brink of collapse and thousands of jobs at stake.
Big brands which have been impacted this year include Colette, which has shut 103 stores, Bardot closed 58, G-Star shut all 57 of its stores in Australia. Jeans West was forced to close 37 shops. And last month, Mosaic Brands, which includes Rivers, Millers, Katie's, Noni B and Crossroads, announced plans to close up to 500 stores within 2 years.
Yeah, it's huge. For more, we're joined by QUT's retail expert, Professor Gary Mortimer, and Chief Executive of the Retail Doctor Group, Brian Walker. Gents, appreciate your time. Gary, first you. Been a disastrous year for many businesses. Is there light at the end of the tunnel, or do you reckon the worst is yet to come?
Morning, Koshi. Listen, unfortunately, I think the worst is yet to come. If you think about it, there's a lot of cash in the economy currently. We've got job seekers receiving a COVID supplement. That's $550 a fortnight. That's going to start to wind back from this month and then wind back even further at the end of December. We've got workers stood down receiving JobKeeper, and we've got businesses that have negotiated rent-free periods or rent reductions. Now, all of that's going to come to an end at some point. I think when it does, we'll start to see some very challenging trading times.
Brian, what's going on here? Because everybody I know is shopping like crazy. People are still shopping online, but stores are closing.
Yeah, hi Sam. It's really interesting, isn't it? We've seen this transformation. The big accelerant is COVID, as everyone knows, and as Gary talks about. But what we are seeing is a significant growth in online. Online numbers have doubled in the COVID period. We're spending an average of 4 hours a day on our smartphones, researching, looking at our retail purchases. And there are retailers who have performed particularly well in this period that are home-based retailers, the Jerry Harveys, the JB Hi-Fis of this world. So it's a tale of two camps. I do agree with Gary's comment that once the government assistance starts to slow down, we have to see what the landscape looks like. It has changed, growth in online. However, we are habitual by nature, we're instinctively social, and as a consequence, you'll see people coming back into shops in greater numbers once we get through this pandemic.
Gary, is that right, or have we, as customers, changed our habits forever? For example, before this, I thought QR codes were a waste of time. Now I think they're the greatest thing ever. Buying online, so many Australians have been educated into how easy it is.
Well, online shopping's certainly grown, and Brian's right. It's growing substantially. I think I looked at the last numbers recently, and we've seen Aussies spending in the 12 months to June 30 about $35 billion. So that's about 12% of physical retail sales. The challenge, of course, with online, it's a bit of a double-edged sword. For retailers, it's certainly it's cheaper to have your customers come to you and select their own goods, scan their own purchases, and take them away. It becomes more costly for retailers to facilitate a digital channel. So I think what we're seeing now is retailers balancing that physical and digital environment. And then, of course, how do you facilitate those returns and exchanges in an online environment?
Brian, just really quickly, because we're out of time, but what's the...
Sure.
It's hard to pick the trend here. Some of the cheap shops fold. So are we pushing toward... But we used to love them, but then you still like a bargain. We like fast fashion. So what's surviving here? Is it quality or is it price?
It's positioned in the marketplace, strongly differentiated. We talk about omni-channel retailing, having great physical retail, less of it, more experience in the retail stores, supplemented with a good online offer. And we see in all the sectors winners and losers in this period. I would say one quick thing. This change was occurring pre-COVID. This, as I've touched on, is the big accelerant.
Yeah.
We're an over-shopped country, and now we're seeing this adaptation.
Gents, great to catch up. Appreciate your time. Thank you.